Have you ever imagined that there are fallen angels imprisoned for millennia, waiting for just one order to bring destruction upon the earth? According to the book of Revelation, 4 angelic beings were chained by God at the Euphrates River. They are not symbols, metaphors, or legends. They are real, powerful beings, lethal and absolutely obedient to divine judgment. They are confined, but for a short time. The most frightening? The Bible states that these angels are kept for an hour, a day, a month, and an exact year. The precision of this prophecy eliminates any doubt. They will not free themselves and will not come before their time. But when they come, nothing will be able to stop them. They are not simple demons. They are generals of chaos. And their mission? To eliminate 1/3 of humanity. But why did God imprison them? What did they do so serious to deserve millennia of imprisonment? And why exactly was the Euphrates River chosen as their spiritual prison? These questions lead us to a dark and current revelation. The Euphrates is not just a river. It is a spiritual line of containment, an invisible wall between the divine realm and the forces of the abyss. Throughout history, it has been the stage of kingdoms like Babylon and Assyria, empires that rose in rebellion against heaven. There, idolatry, perversion, and spiritual violence were concentrated, and it is precisely on this contaminated soil that the 4 angels await their liberation. We are talking about a barrier that is about to collapse, and when that happens, it will not just be a sign. It will be the beginning of an avalanche. Revelation 9 reveals to us that along with these angels will come an army of 200 million horsemen, a horde that mixes spiritual power and physical destruction. Creatures described with lion heads, tails like serpents, and mouths that release fire, smoke, and sulfur. They are not human. They are entities of the abyss. And many believe that the echoes of this movement have already begun. Endless wars, moral collapses, global rebellions against faith, mass emotional crises. All this may be more than sociology. It may be prophecy. Are you spiritually awake to this, or living as if it were just another bad phase of humanity? Spiritual confusion is the greatest poison of this time. The greatest danger is not physical destruction, but the subtle deception that distances millions from the truth without them noticing. That is why Jesus warned, "Watch and pray, so that you do not enter into temptation." The time of neutrality is over. Either we are grounded in the truth, or we will be dragged into chaos. The most impressive? God still keeps them chained. This is grace. This is mercy. But until when?
Perhaps, at this very moment, the waters of the Euphrates are already moving. Perhaps the prophetic time is about to reach its final countdown. And perhaps, what seemed distant is already knocking at the door. The question is, are you prepared for when the chains are broken? What many do not know is that this prophecy has direct connections with current events. The Euphrates River in recent years has been drying up in various regions. Scientists explain this by climate change, poor resource management, and political conflicts. But the eyes of faith see beyond. In Revelation 16, we read that the Euphrates will dry up to prepare the way for the kings of the east, another apocalyptic sign. In other words, what happens physically to the river may be a precursor of something much greater in the spiritual realm. And there is more. The Eurasian region is the cradle of civilizations, but also the stage of endless wars. Iraq, Syria, Turkey, nations marked by blood, pain, and division. Could it be a coincidence that it is precisely in this scenario that the angels are imprisoned? Or is God showing through earthly events that the chains are weakening? We live in times when the spiritual and the physical intertwined visibly. The world is in moral collapse. Good is ridiculed. Evil is celebrated. Families are being destroyed. Children bombarded with confusing ideologies. Truth replaced by convenient narratives. All this prepares the ground for the breaking of the chains. And when that happens, there will be no time for last-minute preparation. We need to be ready now. The Apostle Paul warned us that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and spiritual forces of wickedness. These 4 angels are part of those forces, but they are not acting now because there is still resistance. The church that prays, the spirit that dwells in the children of God, the word that is still preached. That is why every prayer, every fast, every act of faith is more important than we imagine. We are delaying the judgment clock with our faithfulness. But time is running out. And when the angels are released, there will be no more neutrality. There will be no room for doubt or indecision. Those who belong to God will manifest their light. Those who rejected the truth will plunge into even deeper darkness. But there is hope. The same Bible that warns us about the angels of the Euphrates also guarantees us protection. Psalm 91 declares that 1,000 will fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but you will not be harmed. This promise is for those who dwell in the shelter of the Most High. It is for those who remain firm even when everything around collapses. Therefore, this is not a call to fear, it's a call to awaken. It is time to align life with God's will, to abandon modern idols, vanity, pride, unbelief, materialism, and return to the first love. We are on the brink of something great, a time of judgment, yes, but also of glory for those who persevere. God never loses control. The angels will only come out of the chains when He commands. And until then, we have a mission to announce, prepare, pray, watch.
The war is real, but victory is guaranteed for those who are on the rock. But understand something fundamental. These angels are not mere invisible enemies wandering aimlessly. They are strategists, commanders of a spiritual legion, waiting for their moment to strike decisive blows against humanity. Their imprisonment is not just a physical containment, but a relentless spiritual restriction maintained by the sovereign authority of God. It is as if a cosmic clock is marking every second, every beat until the appointed moment for their release arrives. And you need to realize that this moment is not a mere coincidence or fiction. It is immersed in millennial prophecies, in events that surpass our human understanding, yet manifest before our eyes, both in the visible and invisible world. Imagine for a moment the impact of this colossal army of horsemen of the apocalypse, 200 million beings, intertwined in a symphony of destruction, armed not only with physical weapons, but with supernatural powers that defy human logic. Lion heads roaring with fury, serpent tails causing deadly venom, mouths releasing fire, smoke, and sulfur, symbolizing divine judgment, the inexorable justice that comes upon the earth. And what do you see in the world today? Conflicts that seem endless, governments falling and rising in the blink of an eye, a growing sense of insecurity and fear. These are the first shadows of the approaching storm. But there is a vital counterpoint that many forget, the role of active and conscious faith. You, as a son or daughter of God, are not helpless. The Bible reminds us that greater is He who is in us than he who is in the world. It is not a mere cliche. It is a profound truth that can transform your heart, your mind, and your destiny. The battle is not only external, but internal. Every moment of prayer, every dedicated fast, every word of faith spoken acts as an invisible fortress, a spiritual shield that protects you and your family against the attacks of darkness. Do not be deceived by the apparent silence. While the world seems indifferent, the forces of evil are in frenzy, searching for breaches, opportunities to infiltrate and sow chaos. And in this scenario, the urgency of spiritual awakening arises. Are you prepared to be light in the midst of darkness, to be a voice crying out in the wilderness, a beacon guiding the lost? Because neutrality will be swallowed by turmoil. The world does not wait. prophecy does not fail, and the chains that hold these angels are breaking. It is time for a definitive choice: to stand still, indifferent, waiting for chaos to dominate, or to act with faith, courage, and hope, standing firm on the unshakable rock that is Christ. Reflect. What have you done to strengthen your faith, to protect your soul and spirit, to positively influence your family and your community? Do not underestimate the power of your life surrendered to the Lord. You are part of a heavenly army, an invisible army that fights real battles. And the promise is clear. Though 1,000 fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, you will not be harmed. If this message has touched your spirit, leave in the comments, "I want to stand firm when the chains are broken." This may be more than a comment. It may be a step of faith. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving deep revelations from the Word. And share this video with someone you love. Maybe it is exactly the warning that person needs to hear today. Because when judgment comes, those who are firm on the rock will not be shaken. This is the security of those who live under the shadow of the Most High. So what are you waiting for? For the world to collapse around you to realize the battle is real? Rise up, prepare yourself, pray without ceasing, watch carefully, and when the chains are broken, stand firm, because a victory belongs to those who remain in faith. This is not a mere warning, it is a call to action. The journey is arduous, but the end will be glorious. And remember, God never loses control.